Okay, so I was having this conversation, I think, a few days ago, and it made me want to rehash this all over again. So, in the dog training world, I know you all have heard phrase positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, right? And it's been marketed as good or bad, right? So it's just like, oh, we're positive reinforcement only. And a lot of these dog daycares, dog training facilities, they'll say those things, but then they have spray bottles, slip leads, transition boxes, kennel time. As soon as you put a lead on a dog and you do a correction or you spray their paws or you tell them no, you do a collar, you are now doing something called positive punishment. So where y'all think positive means good and negative means bad, what it really means is positive means add and negative means subtract. So positive reinforcement, we're adding something to reinforce a behavior that we want. Positive punishment, we're adding something to decrease a behavior we don't want, right? So negative reinforcement, we're taking something away to reinforce a behavior that we want. Negative punishment, we're taking something away to decrease a behavior we don't want. Oh, you've been lied to. It's not good or bad, y'all. This is why we get into this whole thing about like prong collars and e-collars. Oh, this is bad for the, and blah, blah, blah. And don't get me wrong, I get it. I do know that there are people out there that will just slap a prong collar on or an e-collar on and they just crank it up or they yank it. I get that. But for trainers like me who make sure I try and go above and beyond to teach the owners how to properly use the tool, introduce the tool to the dog correctly, I've always said I'd rather you have a tool and not need it than need the tool and not have it. So for trainers who always go above and beyond to make sure that the education is there for their clients and we're doing our due diligence by teaching the proper usage of this tool, these words, positive reinforcement and force-free training and all of these things, it does a hindrance to our job. And there are dogs out here that really do need these tools. And we're not saying that they may need them for life, but maybe that's what they need in the moment. And then maybe they can go back to their flat collar. Maybe they don't. Maybe this is the tool that works best for them. But this is what saves them from having to be in the shelter or put on the euthanasia list. I'd rather you have the tool and not need it than need the tool and not have it. It's so crucial. But these words that these buzzwords that we keep holding on to where we're just like, oh, are you making sure that this is positive reinforcement only, positive reinforcement only? As soon as I tell that dog no and I do a little leash pop, I'm no longer doing positive reinforcement. I'm doing positive punishment. And if the word positive punishment confuses you or it makes you feel some type of way, then you need to go back and learn what these words really meant. Sorry, there is a puppy in the background murdering one of my socks. But anyways, so that's what I want us to get better at, not changing the definition of words that we know what positive and negative punishment and reinforcement means. Just because they have remarketed it and made it something that it's not, do better, guys. Don't make our jobs hard. We just want to save the dogs too. We want you guys to be able to go outside, not worry about your dogs reacting. And even if your dog isn't dog friendly, being able to just at least be stress free because you know how to handle yourself with your dog. These are all things that are so important and we want you guys to have that. Let's not argue over words, guys. Let's not.